Sachin Tendulkar. I mean, to put him on in front of a camera, how easy was it? How difficult was
Very
it?
difficult. The script's down to the bare minimum dialogue. Mostly action. I tell you try giving him dialogue. He look like a wooden bat. Won't look like a human being.
Yeah.
So we had to distract him completely, make him laugh by telling him jokes in Marathi.
Sachin! I'll take it from here. Thanks.
We found Aishwarya Rai,
Hi, I'm Sanjana. Got another Pepsi?
Aamir Khan, and Aishwarya Rai. The first film ever. First time she came on the parda. Who is Sanju, yeah? You've never seen her before. So then she became a known name and we got the credit for launching her. And Mahima Chaudhary, who became Mahima, and she was actually Ritu Chaudhary.
Prithvi Theatres, Jennifer
Correct.
Kendall.
We had raised the rent theatre with because the theatre was always at a loss.
So, hello, namaste, everybody. Today we have, let's say, the emperor of ad making, the man who started ad making and the brilliance of it when hardly people even know that it's an industry. The priest of ad making, the legend himself, the entrepreneur, the author. Let's welcome ad man, madman Prahlad Kakar. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a bit excessive, but thank you anyway.
I think it's a bit on the lesser side, but anyways, you have been very humble. So, Prahlad sir, it's been great journey, since 1971. It's been over 50 years since you began your journey. You came to Bombay Central, now Mumbai Central. Tell me what brought you to Mumbai, and then what were the early days like?
Yeah, I realized when I was in ASP Delhi that they were a very tradition-bound agency where press, radio, and television didn't even count because it hadn't even appeared on the horizon. But I realized at that time that television was going to be very, very big and gobble up everything else.
Okay.
And that the lesson was brought home very, very clearly by Nirma. Okay. Because the entire budget went into television and they took on levers with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite an eye-opener. But people who are already used to a particular kind of style of working are very reluctant to change, even advertising people.
Absolutely.
And it's only the younger people within the fold who are restless to change. And I realized that if I spent more time in Delhi, it would be not at all fruitful for my career at the end, because the action was all in Bombay, especially with television.
Right.
Especially with Shyam Benegal as a part of the agency which I used to work for. I said, no, wait, I want to work under him. I want to learn the ropes of filmmaking and television commercials from him. He was the master at that time. And so I managed to convince the people in Delhi that if you give me 2-3 months off, I can go to Bombay and talk to Mr. Benegal, or you talk to Mr. Benegal, and get him to take me under his wing so that we can learn something more about the television business.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come back and we'll set up a department here for television advertising. So very reluctantly they let me go.
Okay.
But with no increase in salary.
With no increase in salary. Okay.
No, it was $300. So luckily for me, I met with an old family friend, Larry Grant, whose mother was my house matron in school.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he said, okay, I'm going on a sabbatical for 6 months. You can have my place. Okay. Right in the heart of Colaba. So I didn't have to pay rent for 3-4 months. And then I started working. Shyam initially, people in Bombay are very reluctant to take responsibility for people from Delhi. They think everybody from Delhi is a Jugaadu, which is partly true. They have a reputation for a quick shortcut and thuk laga ke haisha, So he said, no, you don't come work with me right now. You work with Kanciraj Rathod, who's a feature filmmaker. I said, no, but I don't want to do feature films. I want to do ad films. So it doesn't matter. You go and work with him and see what happens. And after about 3 months over, they said, now you come back. So I said, hell, I don't want to go back. This is where it is. And I didn't have any money at that time, so I had to walk to office and back from Kuraba all the way to Nepensi Road.
Oh.
Every day. And I met all kinds of interesting characters on the way, on the Marine Drive, with people catching fish and doing all kinds of things, So it was quite a kaleidoscope experience of Bombay. So Bombay, eventually, if you walk along Marine Drive, you meet everybody. From Bhelpuriwalas to, Champi Malish shops to young lovers to the whole world. So he got lots of assignments. We took him traveling all over the country. And he left the department entirely in my hands.
So it just fell upon you. So the additional responsibility just fell upon you.
It just fell upon me because I don't think he found anybody else at that time. I was the right guy at the right place, and maybe at the wrong time, But I changed it around slightly to give it a slightly more aggressive stance in terms of the profession. And I remember when the films were ready, I was nervous as hell because Shyam flew down for the presentation. And we had a gentleman as a client called Mr. Hafiz Nurani. And he didn't smile. And I was really amazed that he didn't smile, which means he actually liked the film because he was paying attention. He said, can I see them once more? So we showed them once more. And he said, not bad. And that was it. And I was roundly congratulated by Shyam, who was very relieved because he was being responsible. He didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And that's how I cut my teeth, and that's how I got my credibility. It was a learning because we were on a train going from one city to another city, landing in the city, going for a recce, trying to find the right profession, casting the character in it. And then rehearsing with him about what he has to say and why he's getting a headache. It was quite an experience. So I think, thanks to Shyam, Benegal and ASP, because you can only learn film hands-on. You can't learn it in theory.
We have been very lucky. You have just given a bestseller, which we have, and we are very proud to have it. The Madman by Prahlad Kakar. It is, I think, amazing book. Somebody who wants to really get into ad world, and I myself being a small part of it, I can vouch that it is an amazing memoir you have built in, and I found some secrets really which I really didn't know. I'll come to that, one by one, starting with Genesis, because I think around 1977 is when you gave birth to Genesis.
Right. There were 3 of us in the department at that time.
Yeah.
And all 3 of us were co-opted into helping Shyam with his feature films. Ankur, Nishant, Manthan, Bhumika, etc. Right. And all of us were involved in the making of feature films, and we were all together. And we bonded when we were doing Shyam's features. And we decided together, let's start our own company. So now who is going to build the cat? Because Shyam Benegal, we were all working for him. And I went up to him and said, Shyam, we want to start a company. So he hummed and hawed and said, yes, on one condition. Whenever I need you, you drop everything and come first. I'm the first priority in your life. So whenever I need you for anything, then you will do it. So we agreed. And he said, good, now start it. So Smita Patil was then just had finished Manthan with us. And we all great friends. So she gave us the name, Genesis. So I said, where did you get this from? She said, go see a film by a young student from FTI who made a really interesting film called Genesis. Watch it. If you like it, name your company Genesis.
Okay. From even Genesis, there was an association with Prithvi Theatres, Jennifer Kendall, and the restaurant. So please, we want to really know, how did that association happen?
I was hanging around Prithvi one day looking at samosas being sold over the counter with chai.
Okay.
And I was just remembering when Jennifer walked in, because she was very hands-on in the theatre at that time. She ran everything, practically. All the plays, the timings, the work. And I went up to her and I said, Jennifer, it's such a waste of space. So she said, what do you mean? I said, it's a interval space. Everybody just has enough time to eat a samosa and drink some tea. And the favorite Indian snack. So what more can you do with it? I said, no, let's make it into a Joe Allen. Now, Joe Allen's is a very famous theatre chain of restaurants, which caters to theatre audiences. It's an American chain, and I went to it in London, and it was fantastic. Said, and who's going to do that? I said, me. He said, but you're a very successful ad filmmaker. Where are you going to have the time? I said, Jennifer is my passion. I'll make the time. So she looked very skeptically at me. She said, the rent is $450, but if you don't cover it, don't worry about it.
Okay.
And we covered it from the second month onwards.
Wow.
And by the 6th month, we had raised the rent from 450 rupees to 5,000 rupees a month.
Oh.
I said, this is our contribution to your grant, which you are running the theatre with, because the theatre was always at a loss, because they were subsidizing all the plays, and they were subsidizing them from their own pocket. Jennifer and
Sachin. That's where the book comes in. We have found a lot of anecdotes and a lot of things. Yeah.
Yes, one of the early times when we made a film for Bombay Dine, and we were really chuffed. We said, "Wow, we are now A-listers." Suddenly, and we were asked to vote for the Bombay Dine film, which we wrote the script and quoted for it through Ulka. And surprise, we got the film.
Wow.
And now there's a teasing to get the production on the way, because the male film was all about a Bond character.
Right.
And we had panthers, pythons, helicopter crashes, all sorts of things happening in the film, because it's a Bond film, not fully action.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was more action than any Hindi movie film. So we had to innovate like mad as to how to innovate a helicopter crash without actually crashing the helicopter, because we didn't have the budget.
Right.
And so we had to build a model helicopter and crash that into a mountain above a tunnel. We had to innovate like hell, because Satish Shah, we made him into an assassin, and he was trying to shoot them from the helicopter when they were traveling in a jeep. He just managed to shatter the windshield.
Oh.
Only thing that we didn't calculate for was because we wanted the windshield to burst outwards toward the camera, because they were behind. The gunshot was from behind them.
Okay.
But we didn't calculate for the fact that the jeep was traveling at about 30-40 miles an hour. So when I broke the windshield from the back, the wind caught the flying glass and put it right in the lap of the car.
Oh my God.
So we had to stop the shoot, and the lady was screaming and saying, "No, I'm going to get cut, I'm going to get scarred, I have to get married." All this sort of nonsense was going on. And I failed.
Oh, that is amazing.
And then this lady who was cast as the female lead to the Mr. Bond suddenly decided that she had committed herself to shoot the next day and she couldn't come back to the set, and threw a tantrum.
Oh,
so we dressed up Satish Shah. Luckily, she didn't know Satish Shah at all, because he was sitting in a helicopter. So we dressed him up as a taxi driver and sent a cab to her house half an hour before her other shoot's call time.
So Satish Shah ji actually became a cab driver.
Cab driver.
On your insistence, and
Yes.
insistence just to get that heroine,
Yes.
the actor on the set. Wow. And he agreed. Didn't
He
Satish
agreed,
Shah
yeah, he was very gung-ho.
made a fuss about it? Oh, wow.
No, not at all. So he picked her up and he only used monosyllable answers. So she said, are we going for the shoot? He said, yes. He says, where is the location? He said, yes. He says, how far is it? He said, yes. Until he landed up at Film City where the set was. And she said, but this is not my shoot. This is what we were shooting yesterday. I have to go for another shoot. So I said, then go. He said, no, but you don't drop me. It's in the middle of nowhere. So I said, you walk. By tomorrow morning, call time, you'll be there. She broke down, cried, screamed, yelled, did everything. I said, fine. And I've rung up your producer. I've told him that I'll finish you by 2 o'clock. And you can start the afternoon shift. But if you throw a tantrum on me and don't finish my shoot, I'm going to let you walk back. Because in those days in Film City, there were no cabs. There was no autos. There was nothing. It was in the middle of the jungle. Panthers roaming around, things like that. So anyway.
And then there's an odd leopard roaming around somewhere.
Yes. And we shot. We tried and quickly packed her off and sent her away.
I don't know whether you've seen his movie, that Jaane Bhi To Yaaro, where he played it.
Of course I have. It's a cult hit, yeah.
That particular, I think that's his best work. I still feel that's his best
because
work.
He hasn't done anything. He's a corpse right through the film.
Either in a coffin or wearing a sari.
Yeah.
Or a skates or whatever you want to say.
In and out of Draupadi.
Yeah.
All there in the book.
HarperCollins has published it. It is an unbelievable book. It is there for you in the stand. It's already a bestseller. I think you should get a grab on that. But then, Prahlad sir came 90s. And the 90s was a phase where, you became famous. You were already a big renowned name in the art circles, in the film circles. But then that was a time where, the television industry got a big boost.
Big boost.
And people who you were only hearing or reading about, you could see them. And that was a time, when a lot of superstars were coming in, especially sports and cricket was really growing. Sachin Tendulkar was a sought-after brand himself. Mr. Bachchan was really, really going gung-ho still.
Yes.
So, and that's where, Shah Rukh Khan came in. That's where, Pepsi as a brand, really leverage all those stars, their star power. What was the experience? Can you share some of the experiences working with all these three superstars?
What catapulted us into the public domain, other than just the advertising domain, was the brilliant scripts that Anuja Chauhan wrote for us.
Who even wrote books later, and one of them became a movie called as Zoya Factor.
And Murder Mubarak.
Yeah, so we were very careful that the brand ambassador always played second fiddle to the brand. They gave us some lesser brands to do first, just to test us out. And then they gave us the biggie, which was Aamir Khan and Aishwarya Rai, the first film ever. The first time she came on the parda. And Mahima Chaudhary, who became Mahima, and she was actually Ritu Chaudhary. And she was renamed Mahima after the Pepsi launch because that made her famous, and she became a film star.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Ghai launched her in a film.
For this, 97, I guess.
Yeah. He renamed her Mahima. So now she's only known as Mahima, but actually her real name is Ritu.
नहीं, Pepsi नहीं है तो.
No problem.
We found Aishwarya Rai totally by accident. She walked into our office, so one of my assistants grabbed her over, and she was an architecture student at that time. Mm-hmm. And she was a typical college, torn jeans, one kurti, hair all tied up in one rubber band, In 6 seconds of the film. She only comes on for 5 to 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Sanju. Got another Pepsi?
Hi, I'm Sanjana. Got another Pepsi?
Sure.
Okay, that was her line. And everybody rang me up the next day to say, who is Sanju here? You've never seen her before. So import karke laya gaya. In any art, she's very homegrown. She's a Mangalorean. Bunt at that.
And that is even before a Miss India crown, right?
Oh, long
even before that.
She did any art, modeling whatsoever. Yeah, she was the first timer and she just took off from there. So everybody wanted a piece of Sanju. She got the Lakme campaign, she got so many campaigns because of that. So then she became a known name and we got the credit for launching her.
Anything you can share, because there have been a lot of instances where the plan A really hasn't worked. And you really have to, think on your feet on the very moment to
on
get
the very
an
moment.
Yeah.
I remember I was doing a film for South Talc.
Okay.
with a young lady who was quite nice looking at that time. She was Smita Patil. She was quite a famous model. And she had to play tennis like Steffi Graf.
Okay.
The heroine of the film was a tennis player who beat all the boys of her age. And she was like a Steffi Graf. She was like dharam, on the court. So we asked her, do you play tennis? She said, no. I said, do you want to go? Can we put you into with a coach for a month where he teach you how to play tennis? She said, why not? So she went to the MSLTA courts in Colaba.
Okay.
For 1 month, she was being taught by the coach. And every day we'd ask the coach, how's she doing? He'd say, yeah, she's improving. And by the end of the month, we asked Smita, so how's your tennis? She says, it's there. I can now hit the ball. So we took her onto a court. She said, okay, show us. And she missed the ball by 1 mile. And she hit it on the third bounce. So, and that was out of the court. So we were in despair. Here we were on the shoot with Smita Patil and the client from the south, jumping up and down and wanting his film quickly. And suddenly I realized this wasn't going to work. She wasn't going to be a Steffi Graf. So we changed the script and said she's a complete amateur. She's never gone on the court before. And this is her first game of tennis. So I told my cameraman, let her practice. We shoot it while she's practicing. Don't tell her we shoot it.
Oh, wow.
So we shot her from one side of the court completely, the whole game. She giggles, she does it, she jumps up and down, she hits the racket on the ground. But all in fun. And I told the agency boss, she can't play tennis. We've changed the script. So when you see the script, you understand that we've got her as naturally as possible. And when when the film came out with us not being able to play tennis, a lot of people said, but this is not the script. So yeah, well, if you wanted the script, then you would have got a really certain film. And it was the first film ever they got fan mail.
Oh.
An ad film that got fan mail. Smita used to come, ring us up every day and say, I've got 100 mails, what do I do with them? I said, hire somebody to reply to them. Stupid, you're a star.
But when we're talking about celebrities who are, let's say, not actors, like, for example, if I say Sachin Tendulkar, I mean, to put him on in front of a camera, how easy was it? How difficult was it?
Very difficult. Because I had to work on his comfort zone. And his comfort zone was playing cricket, not giving dialogue. So we used to cut the scripts down to the bare minimum dialogue. Mostly action. And the client used to grumble and say, no, you changed the script, what have you done now? I said, you try giving him dialogue. He looked like a wooden bat. He won't look like a human being. So you won't have any credibility in whatever he's saying. But if you associated him with the game and then say that he also uses your product, which he's quite happy to hold up and smile at. Where as long as he distracts his attention, put somebody who he can smile with opposite the camera, then make him focus on him or her telling jokes. Then he's doing an advertently smile or laugh. So also very difficult, because the most difficult thing to do on camera, even if you're an actor, is to laugh convincingly.
Yeah.
So we had to distract him completely, make him laugh by telling him jokes in Marathi.
Okay.
Meet Sachin Tendulkar, just plain greedy. When it's runs, wants a ton.
Sorry.
When it's Pepsi, wants a truck.
Why, Sachin? Have a Pepsi. Pepsi. Nothing official about it. Aha!
So eventually you can say that over the years, then, he became a bit more natural and, as an ad filmmaker, even you were at ease,
No, Aishwarya became so confident of himself that he started actually changing the scripts around to make them better. Now, that Shah Rukh film where Shah Rukh dresses up like Sachin goes to the World Cup team's dressing room to steal a Pepsi because they were getting it free. And at the end, when Arjun comes up to him and says, "Pad up, Sachin, you're on." And then there's Shahrukh with the pads and gloves and all coming out. And then you see Sachin standing there in the corridor just before coming onto the ground.
Right.
And he said, Sachin, sorry, I just wanted a Pepsi.
Hi, Sachin. Sachin. I'll take it from here. Thanks. Thanks. All the best.
You take it from here. So Sachin says, okay, I'll take it from here. And the original script was that he takes the bat and goes into bat. But Sachin turned around and said, why can't I take the Pepsi and go back into the dressing room? Let him bat. So we said, yeah, damn good idea. So we changed the script on the set.
Oh, wow.
You know?
And I think it's one of those ads which I remember that you had split into two. You know, like there was a one half and then there was a second half which you said, you know, it'll come soon.
Correct.
People were really hooked onto it. What will happen next?
Yeah, because it was the first 90 seconds that they went on to the matches. Because what happened was that they could only play 30 seconds. So we edited it down to 60 seconds. And 60 seconds we ran the first half and then to be concluded. And the next thing when he goes up to bat, so up to where Azhar comes up and says, "Pat up, Sachin, you're on." It ended on that 30 seconds.
All those years back, if you rewind the clock, there was this bell sound, the ting, 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 ting. So when Britannia happened, did you take those sounds and use those?
They had a musical, signature. Britannia Khao, World Cup Jao. So it wasn't 1, 2 winners. There were 300 winners. They had booked an entire stand in the stadium in England during the India-England match. And they took 250 people to England in Britannia t-shirts. So you could see them on camera, one flank. So in the campaign, Britannia Khao, World Cup Jao, I realized that the films were all public domain films. But the jingle word still belonged to the client. It was musical. It was known, but not that well. So I decided on the spur of the moment to make the jingle into everybody's voice. So I made everybody say it, or sing it rather. Doesn't matter whether they could or couldn't. So somebody said ting ting ting, somebody said ting 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 ting, somebody said ting ting tung, So every character in all the films, Britannia Khao World Cup Jao, had a different way of enunciating ting ting ting. And suddenly the logo and the brand belonged to the public.
It caught up everybody's imagination instantly.
Because it was no longer a holy cow, where only the client had access to it.
Fantastic. And in fact, even you had an association with the Tea Board of India. That was, I think, pretty interesting, which happened in Churchgate, the Tea Centre. And why such a name, and how that association happened with the Tea Board?
The Tea Centre was the name that the Tea Board had given it. It was running for 20 years. But because of neglect and because of lack of passion, it had run into the ground. The dusty, noisy place, you can smell it from across the road because nobody cleaned the toilets. So when I was trying to find it at the basement of Resham Bhavan, I couldn't. Then I rang up somebody in the Tea Board and said, how do I find it? It was a humongous task to do it. And they had given us a limited budget, including air conditioning of 9 lakhs. To refurbish the whole place the way we wanted it, to air condition the place, make it presentable. So my wife is from the tea garden. So she contributed her bit and said, let's make it like a Chai Bagan club. They used to have the Chai Bagan club where everybody used to come on Saturdays and Sundays and have high tea and all that and do that. And so we decided to copy everything from the Chai Bagan, including the waiters, what they wore, and the little bells that they had to ring to call the waiters and say, "Oye, waiter." There was no such behudanes. They used to ring this bell, ting, 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 and the waiter used to arrive. Waiters were trained purely by a brilliant team of ours from my office. And they were trained that if you hear a bell, you have to reach there within 3 seconds. You shouldn't have to keep ringing the bell,
Nice.
And then they knew more about the tea than any customer knew. And the customer used to check with the waiter. He says, what's the difference between your Darjeeling and your Assam? And he's going to this education litany. Assam mein aisa taste aata hai, waisa taste aata hai. And Darjeeling mein aisa taste aata hai, waisa taste aata hai. So and if the consumer was confused, we had a free tasting room.
Oh.
A state-of-the-art tasting room. Better than any chai bagan. And we guided us to go taste the teas and then come back and decide what you want.
So the entire idea of that tea center completely changed, and it really became a happening place from what it was.
Yeah, it became a very beautiful. At the Times of India, all the journalists were there all the time.
In between, you did mention your wife, Mitali ma'am. You did start another production company, Offspring and Offshoot.
Yeah, because she refused to work with me. As long as she was a trainee and a flunky, she would take all my shit. The moment she became a full-blown person and a professional in her own right, she says, bugger off, I want my own company, I don't want to work for you.
So there are no ego clashes as such. So she is doing her stuff, you're doing your stuff.
No, she used to get all the A-grade films and I used to get all the B-grade films. So to make the B-grade film into A-grade film, we lost money. And she made shitloads of money. So basically, she became the head of the exchequer.
And your interest went right, let's say, literally to water. When you're talking about the Lakshadweeps and the initiative you took in the scuba diving, beautiful, islands of ours. What prompted you to, work for the water, work for those islands, and make sure that
I was introduced to scuba diving in Mauritius, and I was fascinated by it because I felt seasick in the boat. I had to jump off in mid-ocean with a mask, and I could see the drivers, I could see the fish, I could see everything. I was hooked. So I convinced the instructor the next morning to take us for a Patham dive, a beginner's dive, handheld.
So what prompted you to ultimately bring this book, which has become like selling like a hot cake, 50 years of your life into this one ad mad memoir, which you have rightly named, Ad Man Madman?
Well, it was basically my wife. I'll give her 100% credit. Because once I reluctantly signed with HarperCollins to write the book, I set no deadline. I said, ho jayega, ho jayega.
And when did it happen? When did you start thinking writing about
it? Just 2 months before COVID.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I just managed to write one chapter in those 2 months. And I said, I'm thinking. After COVID hit, there was no excuse. Because there was no work. So my wife, like a hunter wali, with a whip in her hand, got after me and said, now finish the book. It still took me 2 years.
So because you were thrown out of your play school, you were thrown out of your college. And this I'm reading from your own book, that you were thrown out of the play school, you were thrown out of your college. And, you resigned before being fired at once.
Correct.
So you think it proved lucky? You're being thrown out of things proved lucky for you?
I don't know, but it just set the trend of becoming a serially thrown out of everything that was respectable and interesting to everybody else. I managed to keep all of it away from my parents because I got a local guardian who was my friend, Vijay Paranswe, made him into Vijaya Paranswe. And all my letters of complaint and everything that I was up to in college, and they went to him.
Okay.
We all together dictate replies to all the things. We're very sorry. Please forgive us. We're trying our best with this boy. He's so disobedient. And we don't know what to do with him. If you have any suggestions, please tell us. Laugh.
So will the boy say that the boy is still disobedient, or has the boy changed over the years?
Of course, I'm exactly like the way I was in Kum school.
So in 70 years, things haven't changed. Haven't changed.
Laughing at myself and laughing at the world is not changed at all. Which is why The book is full of funny anecdotes right through.
So thank you so much, Prahlad sir. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. A lot of things we have learned, a lot of laughs we have got. And we hope to catch up with you soon in some other format when you hit the news once again. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.